So, hello to everyone. This is Yash Jatav, from a student of a computer science engineer third year from SGSITS from 2026 batch. So, today we are going to learn about Android app development. Now, what is app development? App development is a process in which we create the software applications which will be going to be run on our Android or mobile applications and in a desktop and an embedded system. Embedded systems like we can say watches and different kind of devices. Uh, there are multiple what we can say music players, uh, cars, and wherever we need a software, the most preferred software we use the Android. Android development is the most flexible thing ever because Android is the most flexible OS where we can put it anywhere. Even though during if you generally if you have a smart TV, you will just notice that generally we just saw that it's a Android TV, Google TV OS, but it's not true because it actually a Android system where we can there are some customization done by the Google where it make feel like a Android version of it. So just because of the flexibility of Android, the app development is much more easier in the app for the applications. So how application is different from the web. So, the application development more focuses on create a specific operating system. Like mostly we generally see there are types of operating system in the current market. The first is the uh, Android and second is the iOS. There is third category as well, which is RTOS. RTOS is a little bit of different OS because generally we see this kind of software in the uh, keypad phones where you will see that the OS is almost same in every device and the system are so limited, the features are so limited, it is fixed. But why we use RTOS as well in today's current time, because that software is so light. So RTOS we will use RTOS on those devices where we have to save the battery and less powerful processors. The best example are current smart watches and smart band, which comes under the 5,000 rupees. Mostly smart watches are run on RTOS. That's why they claim the better battery life as well, and they run on a cheap software and processors as well. And where we if we will see the web development involve the building website and web application that will gonna be run on the web browser. So that website will gonna run on any device at any OS. It did not the web development did not depend on the operating system, it depend on the web browsers and websites. So what are the features for the web development, sorry, app development? So the app development provide a more tailored experience and offered a better performance and responsive because that particular application is currently running on our system. So that what's performance is much better than the web development, and the application required need to be installed in our system. The if you will see there are, as we know, there are only two types of generally options in OS in currently in our time. So the first is the Android and second is the iOS. Now what the iOS Apple system mostly the supported the two languages. The first is the Swift and second is the Objective C. There is one more which is the Flutter, which give a flexibility to make a single code to run on a multiple operating system like Android and iOS both. And the native languages for the Android is Kotlin and Java. Kotlin is more preferred language for Android development, offering more modern features. Java is widely used in existing application. If you will see the application before 2017 and 18, they generally made from the Java, because at the time the Java was most popular and most adaptable language by all the companies. But by the time changes, the Kotlin becomes so better option as compared to Java, because it give more flexibility, more advanced features, and now the summary for the app development is: the app development focus on the creating or the software for the specific OS with deeper integration, while web development creates application accessible for browser. Each platform has their native programming languages and optimized performance and functionality, while across tools offer flexibility and wider range of features as per our needs. So now in this next thing, we are going to learn like how can we start the ad development as a beginner level. So first of all, we have to decide that for which platform we have to develop applications. Like, are we have to design application for Android or for iOS or for both? We can become. There are three categories. Okay, as I was told, Android, iOS, and the both as well. So for Android system, we have to learn the Java or a Kotlin. The most preferred language is the Kotlin, but we can start if you want to just understand, and if you want as a beginner, if you want to just start your career in app development, we can start with the Java as well. If you know the Java, then good to go. Practice the code. Okay, and the second is iOS. For iOS, we can learn Swift language. Swift language and Objective C. Objective C was just like a Java, and Swift is like a Kotlin. Swift is the most the preferred language for the development of the application in the iOS system, because it's the stable, and it is already co-developed. It is developed by the Apple itself. Now the third step is the familiarize yourself with the development tools. So, if we want to develop an application for the Android, we have to install the Android Studio, and if we want to develop for iOS, we have to install Xcode. But there are some limitations as well, because if we want to develop an application for Android, we can use any kind of what we can say PC. There is no restrictions about the operating system of the PC. We can develop an application in Windows as well, and as well in Mac OS as well. But for the iOS system, we have to purchase a Mac only PC, because the Xcode will only run on the Mac. So it is the negative side of the iOS development, where we cannot develop applications in Windows for iOS. So the fourth step is understanding the basic of application design. The most common language we generally use in Android application, which is the XML language. So we have to get familiarized little bit with the UX and UI designing, where we have to become a little bit of creative, or maybe the designer will you give. But if you will become a proper app developer in a company, you, mostly your part is for the development, because there will be other person to design the application. They will give you the design, then you have to create it. Now the fifth point is we have to start looking for the courses and for the exams, where we can actually start learning. In my video, I will give you the beginner's guide, how we can start, how we can understand the language Java, and how. But if you want to go more deeper inside it and more advanced into it, so you can prefer other as well, and you can buy some courses and etc. Whatever you want to do and whatever you are comfortable to join them. Now the sixth step is build simple project. Start with the simple projects, where just like as I just say, I just made a attendance management system. It is a very basic application. So yeah, start with the simple application, where you will can practice your code your designing skills. So at least you can create a big projects in the future where you will learn from your mistakes in the small projects, and you will not gonna be repeat that project in the bigger ones. Now study. Now next is the explore APIs and libraries. While doing the app development, you will learn that many of the things which are predefined. Let's suppose कि if you are developing application where it will take data from other website, okay, if you will gonna be create that kind of data, it will gonna be take so much time, you will gonna be exhausted because sometimes data are not readily available for everyone. So for pre-existing data we need to install or we need to use the APIs, which will save our time uh, as well as the size of the projects as well, because if you will put that much amount of data in it, the application will become, the size of application will become very large, and which may cause the system lags as well. The next is practice debug, how to troubleshoot and fix error in your code. So in this thing, uh, when we writing the code, we will gonna be face so much different kind of errors, issues regarding the code, regarding the development, about database and networkings, because our application consists of many categories. And like example, if I will give you, let's suppose you are developing an application for shopping websites. So first of all you have to manage the database where you will gonna be add every product in that database. That application should be connected on the internet as well, because it will take the data from the different servers. It will connect from the worldwide developers and the sellers. So there are different categories where you have to learn this kind of things. And then after that where you will become uh, when you get the enough knowledge, so you can made your own application and publish your app on a Google Play Store or Apple App Store to gain the real world experience. We are going to install Android Studio in our laptop. Now the steps is open your browser, write Android Studio, and you will see the first website, which is Android Studio and developer.android.com. We are going to click on it and go to the main website of the. So here is the website of the Android Studio. There is an option for the direct download, and there are new features as like they just integrated Gemini in the Android Studio and web browser. We can directly use the Android Studio and web browser. If let's suppose if your PC is not enough, because for Android Studio your PC must enough have a good specs, like at least it have a i5 and 1 to 2 GB of graphic cards, because it need that much of performance to run the applications on it. And the core features are the compose designing tool languages, intelligent code editors, flexible build system, and easy emulate any device. Here are the list of our Android download. So this is the website. If you will go down, there will be list. For Windows user, this is the link for you. For Windows exe.file, you can download in zip as well, but recommended is that exe, download it directly the exe file. And for the Mac user, here we are. There are two files. The first is Android Studio mac.dmg, and the second is mac./arm.dmg. Now if you are using a Mac with the M series of processor, you have to install the Mac ARM, and if you are using a Mac with an Intel processor, then you have to install the Android Mac DMG. And if you are using Linux, you can use that Linux, and if you are using Chrome OS, you can use this. You can install for command line as well, but it is not necessary. As a beginner, there is no need for it. And you can get a basic videos on the uh, YouTube channel as well, which is directly from the Android Studio. So by clicking on it, let's example, I have a Mac M1, so I will click on this. It will give you term and conditions. Download the Android Studio. Please check your PC, then install the Android Studio. Okay, then we will click on it. It started download. I will pause it and read on it because I already installed that Mac. We are going to learn like how to use Android Studio. Now, first of all, as you can see, it is the main project screen. When you will open the Android Studio application, you will see this kind of interface where if you will click on the new project. Now, first of all, there are starting in the four options. The first is phone and tablet. Second is Wear OS. If you are confusing that what is Wear OS, let me tell you. If you will gonna be see the Samsung smartwatches, currently Samsung Wear smartwatches, they are using the Wear OS. Wear OS is a operating system which is developed by the Google for the smartwatches. Now, don't compare that operating system with your regular smartwatch because the regular smartwatch, which is comes under the 5,000 rupees, they generally use the RTOS, which is real-time operating system, and it is totally different operating system. You can't install application in it, and you can't like even customize it internally. You can customize the external factors like OS and watch faces, but if you want to install application, if you want to make calls, etc., this kind of thing, which is mostly possible on the Wear OS only. So Wear OS is the, we can say, Android of the smartwatch. Television, as you know, we generally use the smart, now everyone have a smart TV these days. So if you want to develop an application for the smart TV, now uh, in the last session I just told you that Android TV OS is same as the Android version, because what just Google done now, like they just took the Android versions and recustomize it for the big screens. They increase the font size, they increase the aspect ratio of the application, so it can easily run on the Android TV. And because at the background it is same as the Android. Okay, so if you want to develop an application for TV, we can use that TV. And what is automotive? Automotive, if you will have a car where you have a touch screen, you will generally have a Android Auto. If you hear the thing, is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So if you generally the Spotify version, if you will see your car's touchscreen have a Ghana version, YouTube version, so they are for the automotive version. Okay, but we are going to develop an application for normal purpose for phone and tablet only. So we are going to start with the basic view activity. Click on it and do next. Now name your application. I will go to name that test application. Okay, the package name will be redefined. This will gonna be our package name. It will depend on our name of the, this is the location where it will gonna be saved, and the language we are going to use is Java. If you know the Kotlin language, you can use it, but today I'm going to use the Java. Now this is the minimum SDK version. Now what is this? Let's suppose if you want to make your application like how many devices can support it, because in current state mostly phones are using Android 7 or Android 8 or above. Okay, so even though if you want to develop an application which will at least run at the Android 4 as well, you can use this, because the in current area I don't think no one is using the Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, because it's very old, like it's been almost from almost 2013 to 14. So we are in a current area, at least everyone have Android 10 to Android 12 minimum. Okay, so but we will gonna be select the Android 7 version. Now the Kotlin DSL build Gradle version, this is mostly recommended, but I am going to choose Groovy DSL build. Why we are choosing this option, I will tell you later. Okay, now we have the finish, then start. It will take some time. Here we are. Here I opened an application where this this is the code area where we are writing the code. This is the file area which will show the every file we have added. Okay, it's still loading the setup our configuration. We will wait until it gets finished. Okay, it is finished now. Now if you will see, it is the main home page of the application. Okay, now step by step I will going to tell you like what is the function of everyone. Here is the task manager where you will have file, edit, view, navigate, code, refactor, and multiple options. Okay, this is the project management where you can actually manage your multiple projects. This as a show, as a see, there are two projects which are currently open. This is one and this is one. Okay, and these are the recent projects which I've worked on it. Okay, now this is the version control. If you want to use the get repository, push, pull, and if you want to upload or to connect our application with the Git, we can use it. Now this is the most important thing in the Android Studio, medium phone. Okay, if you want to like if we will develop an application, while developing we have to test it every time. If we want, if we add a feature, if we will remove, if we make some changes, etc., any kind of thing, we have to constantly see the application, is that application is properly working or not. For this, uh, before 4 to 3 years, there was a, if we want to run that application, we have to connect the phone with our PC with the cable. So it was a pretty hurdle, or we have to compulsory to took a phone in it. Okay, so what we have done na ki there are two options as well: select multiple device and pair. We can run our application on phone while developing it, so at least we can test it, is that we are on the right path or not. But if we are if we want to, if we don't have used to phone, so in current, if you are PC is enough powerful enough to handle it, we can run a virtual Android in it, in Android Studio, which is pre-built in it. I'm going to use it and I'm going to show in it. Okay, this is the application we have. We will run that application from this side. There are some tools as well. This is the build Gradle function, running devices, and there is a now direct option for the Geminis as well. And interface of the Android Studio, where you can see this is the file part where we store our all files of the application, where we need for, if we need for the image, for the icons, for the text for files, where we can store these files there. The second portion we are looking for it, this is the code portion where we are going to write our code. And this is the running device where we will run our application and see how it is performing, how we can see the particular thing is running device. This is the, you can read this thing by this. Okay, now let's suppose if you want to launch an virtual Android, you can launch by this running app option. If you will click on this, it will take some time. Let's wait for it. It will launch the app, and here is our first application. Because it's a demo application, I did not make it, it's already pre-built, but I'm just showing. I will write the code as well and I will show the code as well, but this is the normal. Okay, just demo version. This is the where we can run our application. Now as I would already explained about it, this is the terminal which we are showing, where you can run our terminal by directly on it. If you want to push and put a git repository, we can directly use by terminal and push our project to the get and connect with it. So here something interesting part actually. If you can watch this just a minute, show you something. Here, this is the designing section. We can design with the code as well by using the XML language, but it takes a lot of time to build a normal design, just like for the buttons, for the text, for the image, for the fonts, and for the icons as well. So there are pre-built font, text, buttons, widgets, layouts, which is provided by the Android Studio. In the first of the commons are the buttons. The most common things we are used to buttons. But in button section, we can customize the button, change the color, impact, and shape, size, animations, plus text as well. Image view, we can add the image. And fragment container, this is interesting thing because we can divide our screen in small fragments. How? Let's suppose you are designing an application home page, so you can assign a particular area, like this is the area for the search option, this is the area for the menu option, and this is the area for the uh, image options. Okay. Scroll view. In the scroll view, we can see that, like, the when we will scroll down, the application will changes their interface as per the scroll down. Let's suppose if you will open a menu option, and all of a sudden after opening the menu option, if you will scroll down, that and menu option will go back to their place. So here we will see this one. In the text option, we have a plenty kind of text, like a text view, plain text, password, password numeric. Now, what are why there are a given password? Because in the password section, we generally see that when we write the password, it just hide by the dots or by the marks. So that's why there is a pre-built function, so it will save over time. The email, phone number, postal address, multi-value, time, date. There are multiple options for the text. There are multiple options for buttons as well. Image buttons, chip group buttons, chip buttons, checkbox, and radio groups, radio buttons, toggle buttons, switch, and floating actions buttons as well. We can add the widgets as well. Layout, we can change our layout format. If you want to develop an application for as per horizontal or a vertical sections. Yeah, in the Google section we can see a ad view. Now everyone we knows that when we open an application, there is a particular section is already decided for the advertisement. So the advertisement were added by this, where we can assign a particular section for the advertisement purpose only. In map view, where we can see your location directly. Generally this feature were used by the, like, Ola, Uber, and Zomato, because at that place where there is we need to share our location, we need to check the location every time. Okay. So this is the interface for the direct designing of the home page and application pages, which is the front end part. Now come on the back end. There is a section particular which is called the Android. In the Android, where we can see there are manifest. Now what is Android manifest? Android manifest is the most important and key file for the development of the application, because if we will write a code in the Java, now how can a PC or a processor we can understand that what we are actually writing in code in Java? So Android manifest is an intermediate between the processor and Android version. So it actually can translate our what we want to do or what actually we want to perform. So Android manifest, and where in Android manifest as well, we can access the permissions of the application, other applications as well. Let's suppose ki, uh, we are developing a camera application, so we need to get access for the camera hardware as well. So for that permission, we need to add that permission in the Android manifest XML. So at least it can communicate with the mobile hardware, and we can use our application. The second portion is Java. In the Java, there are three options. The example.test application, Android test, and the test application test version. These two options are not in our work. The main things, the code which we are going to write in that example.test application, where I already write the three code, which is the first fragment, main activity, and second fragment. The main activity is the main page or the main Java code, where we will connect the all rest of the code from it. So if we will run the main activity code, rest of the code will automatically connect to it and perform an action at that time. Uh, Now in the rest option, there are this is the properly designing section, where we can design a multiple layouts, multiple pages, multiple what we can say, menu bars, icons, text, font, customization. This is all about the front page. The most the thing which we are going to use is the layout function, like how our application will look like, how it will perform, how it will animate, how it will do a particular task on, if you want to do that. Okay. Now this is the Gradle script. Now as I just told you in the starting, like why I'm choosing the second option instead of recommended option. In the Gradle option, there is a option which is called the build Gradle. In the build Gradle option, it give a what we can say, a dependency or a flexibility to add external APIs and libraries, because there is a option, as you can see, the dependency. Okay. In the dependency section, if you want to add an just like in the previous my application section, I write I just took API which is used I'm using to access the data from the Excel sheet. So if I will try to do that directly from the Java code, it will not gonna be happen, because the Java code did not understand the format of the Excel sheet. But if I will implement a API which will act as an intermediate between the Excel sheet and the Java code, so what that API will do now, it will took the data from the Excel sheet and it will compile the data for the Java language. So at least so from that, Java can take data directly from it and compile it, and after that after processing, it will provide our the output which we want. So dependency is the most crucial part. Okay. Gradle properties, we can change our properties by it, and the Gradle wrapper properties. What is Gradle wrapper properties? Like the services which we are using in application, we can customize it. There are multiple types of services available in for the Android development. So by looking by, as you can see this option, which is the service Gradle distribution Gradle.7.8.7 version. It's already a latest version, but let's suppose if you want to use to customize option or using a different services from the application, so you can change this by changing the versions. And if you want an other customization, you can put the link on it. It will directly download in your Android Studio and it will run. Okay. Now here is over. There are some parts as well where there are projects, and the important file is the packages. Packages contain all kind of code, images, font size, and all what we can say, all material which we need to develop the front end and the back end part. Okay, as you can see, there are some pictures already, IC launcher image, IC launcher round. Okay. And as I made a attendance system, where I made a Excel sheet which I already uploaded this in the package section. So now I am going to tell you that, like how I actually develop an application in the Android Studio. My application is the attendance manager. So first of all, I will briefly explain you what that application will do. It will do like, it will take the data from the Excel sheet which I converted into a CSV file. Okay. As you can see, this is the CSV file. If I will see, there are name, roll number, attendance, parents phone number. Okay, this is the name, roll number, and it is showing the attendance. Okay, there is a 76%, 34, 78, 45, and 12%. Here is the parents phone number. Now, who have attendance less than 60%, the application will show you the direct option to call to the parents. Okay. Now, how did I achieve that? I will tell you. Now, first of all, there is a students Java section where I set the getter by using the getter setter. I just redesigned the name, roll number, attendance in percentage, and the parents' phone number. Okay. It will take, as I have told you, the Android manifest is using me to take the data. Okay. I will show you the CSV file. Now Excel data. Excel data is the one of the key component file where it will take the data from the Excel. Okay. Now I use the this imports. Okay. Here is the I use the Excel data Excel assist manager. Okay. Then while the line reader line is equal to null, it will generate a new line. Okay. It will generate a new array. The student, there is a it will create a new student every time to get the data. After that the reader will be closed and it will return the value to the student section where I will get the value, and then after that we will set it. The main activity.java is the main file where it will communicate with everything and perform the every function. Like this is the main inputs. As I just you can see, I just put the student list view and student as a private member. That's why I use the getter and setters, because those are the private. Okay. On the create table, as you can see, first of all I am making a new student object. Then after that I am using a array list to perform this function, and it taking the data from this file. This is the main data file which is taking data. Okay. And array adapter, as you can see, this is the code, and this is the student list view. Intent call, action, etc. This is my code. Okay. This is the simple Java code. You can understand it. Now I will show you the files which I will. And the Android manifest, as you can see, as I have told you, this gives us a flexibility to contact with the phone's hardware. Okay. This is the predefined. Okay, you will get it predefined where there is a launcher, main activities. Okay, but I added this. Now what is this? This will allow to use the call application directly by my permission. Okay, if my application want to use the call system, I have to give the permission for the user. As you can see, user permission, Android names, Android permission, call phone. Okay. Now, as you can see, why I use feature Android version telephony required fields. Let's suppose if I will add only this code, the call function will continuously gonna be run on the background. Okay, and it will give error every time. But if I will use this, it will only run whenever I will click, whenever I want. Okay, this is the first thing. Now the second which is, those are the main code. As I would already showed the Excel reader, the main activity, the student section. These are the main Java code which we are going to perform. This is the main CSV file. As you can see, the data which is inbuilt in it. Now, as a REST layout, this is the activity main diagram. Okay, this is the in which there is an option. It will show to the parents or match student. Okay, this option will going to give a list of the students where I can able to call it. Okay. Those are the colors, XML strings, and those are the XML file which is a backup rules in WebPy extraction. Now at the Gradle function, as you can see, this is my Gradle function application model. Now, as I told you in the last time, I add multiple dependencies and multiple libraries and APIs to use this. Now, as you can see the dependencies, Open CSV. Open CSV. Why we use the Open CSV? Because for the work of the Open CSV is to read the data for the CSV. My application can read the data from the CSV file easily. That's why I made it. It was a very simple project, and I generally try to make that course as simple as I can. Okay. This is the student Java. Now I'm going to explain the code. Okay. So the code is that the first is the package delivered. The student class is defined here is the represent the subject in the object Java. Okay. Let's break it in each code. Java package. Okay. This is line declares the .com application. It organizes the class within a folder. Okay, for better organization. This is we are the class declaration. Class declaration is the public class declares the class name student. The public keyword means this class is accessible from other class or the same projects. Okay, we move forward. The private fields. Private fields the accessible within the student class ensure encapsulation. External classes cannot access these fields. And the name, the strings will store in the name student. Okay, attendance, roll number are they both are. Now, the getter and setters. Those getters and setters are allowed to control access to private field in keeping them private. Okay. Get name, set the name. Okay. As you can see, I made the getter and setters for every function. Now, we will move toward the next code, which is Excel.reader. Okay, now as you can see the same as package explanation, which is package. Now the context, the assets manager, buffer, reader, input streaming used to read the CSV files. Okay, and the array list and list to use to store the data object. Context and asset manager used for the CSV that assessed. Okay, now the class of readers. Okay, the method called the read Excel data. This method reads the data from the CSS file, convert into the list of object. We use the parameters context. Okay, string file name, return the list of the students. Okay, contain defaults. Asset manager, this is used to access the asset folder on CSV store. Okay, just a minute. Okay, yes. So the input stream, it's open the file for reading. Okay, buffer reading used to read the line by line Java. Okay, now reading the phrasing. Okay, read line, skip the first line which is used to be reader, and while we iterate through the rest of the file line by line until line is read. Okay, split the each line for CSV by commas, assuming fields are common separated. That's why we use this string we develop. Okay, for each line a new student object is created, which is the name, roll number, roll, parents and attendance. Okay, now closing resources, exceptional handling. After reading this file, the reader is closed to release system resource. If any error occurred during the reading, the exception is caught. The stop stack trace is printed. E print stack. Okay. And the final output will the list object contain all the student in CSV data file. Now the next file is the main.activity Java. This is the package declaration, the imports, the intent import used to start activity to make a call. URI provide the uniform resource identifier for the phone number to be called. Package manager used to check the permission for making calls is granted. Okay. Array adapter. Array adapter used to display the list of the students name. List we used to display the school of students and support library action for the features. Now we use the variables in it. Students list view, view list view are component, it will display list of student, and student there are store of student data for CSV file. On create, this method on create this method, when we call activities created, it sets the UI layout for the activity using with the layouts activity mode. Initialize the list. Now we will initialize the list view. The list view initialized by the finding through its ID. Okay. Now loading the CSV file. This the name CSV file which is used to read the data. New thread is created to read the data in background, preventing UI from freezing. Students is our Excel data. This called Excel reader file for return the students object. Now we will updating the UI and the main thread. Run on the UI thread. Update the UI of the main thread after data is reloaded in the background. Okay. List of string. List of string which will going to list of the name students whose attendance below 60%. Used array adapter used to populate the list view with the name of the students. Set adapter the list view of the display. Okay. Handling list item from making calls. By this code, we can handling the calls. Okay. When I am at the list view, click the corresponding student data is retrieved data. Okay. Intelligent call to initiate to call. Specific the phone number to call based on the selected student parents phone number. Check if the app is necessary permission phone calls activity started, and then request permission for the now handling permission request. If app doesn't have a permission to make call, it will request the permission from the user. If granted, it will make initiate. Okay. Now I am going to launch the application to show how my application will gonna be run. This is my full code. Okay. Now by clicking on this button, I will run the application. First of all, always try to do sync the project with the Gradle file. It will take some time, but after that the Gradle will file will run. Everything will gonna be fine. The Gradle file is okay. The build is successfully in 9 seconds. When you will receive the message, now we'll go into run. Why we do this sync? Because every data will sync with each other now. So if anything will be error, it will already will show before launching that. Okay. Now I will click on the run app. It will take some time. Now my application is running. Okay. Now it's already showing me the name of students. Those are the list of students, okay, who is attendance less than 60%. Now let's suppose if I will click on Isha, I click on the Isha, it will take some time, but it will redirectly dial the number. As you can see, it already redial my number. So this is my application. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a nice day.